Republicans do not want you to realize, if you are a Republican, they do not want you to realize that they cut your health care by $800 billion so they could give tax cuts to the super wealthy in this country. Cost of living crisis completely out of control. No solutions whatsoever. The only thing that this administration is invested in doing is like is using a militarized police force against like neighbors.
I was walking here in Washington, D.C., and who did I bump into? One of my favorite members of the United States Congress, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
And one of my favorite senators.
All right. Anyhow, as everybody knows, we are now in a government shutdown. Republicans are attacking Alexandria, attacking me. Why didn't you vote for this clean CR to keep the government open?
Well, there's nothing clean about it. This is one of the dirtiest tricks that is being pulled on the American people right now. Starting today, October 1st, and throughout the rest of the month, Americans across this country are going to start getting notifications that their insurance premiums are up to doubling. We're talking about...
Say that again.
Your insurance, your monthly insurance...
It's going to triple in some cases. Isn't AOC bought by AIPAC? What the fuck are you guys talking about, dude? Oh my God. Where do you get this information from? Do you guys just like live in fucking... What? Like maybe you could say like potentially J Street or something, but no, she's not fucking AIPAC at all. Bernie's gotten J Street donations. Bernie has spoken to J Street. Bernie is a liberal Zionist. AOC is somewhere in between. I don't think she is like as avowed an anti-Zionist as like Rashida Tlaib is. Neither of these politicians are AIPAC politicians. She didn't just have like a bad vote on the Marjorie Taylor Greene or even turn around and defend it. That's not the only reason. AOC, the expectation for AOC is that she is supposed to be one of the leaders of the anti-Zionist movement, anti-Israel sentiment. She should be, but she's not. But it's not because she's AIPAC. But AIPAC is a catch-all term, an umbrella term that people use, sometimes falsely, to describe being in the pocket of the Israel lobby. Also, Hakeem Jeffries is an AIPAC politician. And I'm fucking defending Hakeem Jeffries here. Because this issue is not pertinent to the other thing that we're talking about. If a Democratic politician is doing the right thing on an issue, you have to fucking acknowledge it. He recently got endorsed by J Street. You mean Hakeem Jeffries? Anyway, just lock in for now, okay? We're going to talk about Palestine again. I was just at a fucking Palestine protest, man. Obviously, this is not an issue that's important to me. God damn. Motherfuckers will be like, we'll talk about the government shutdown. And motherfuckers will be like, well, you know, every Democrat that's messaging on this is like still an AIPAC stooge or some shit. It's like, calm down, please.
Premiums are going to double for millions of people across the country.
At a time when we are already paying, by far, the highest prices in the world for healthcare at a time when people can't afford it right now. So what happens?
That means people getting bankrupt over chemotherapy, people going to the pharmacy and not being able to get their insulin. And frankly, it means a lot of Americans are going to be in danger. And Republicans want us to rubber stamp that. So what are we going to say to that, Bernie?
Well, I'll tell you, it's not only be in danger. Let's be clear. And I'm not, it doesn't make me happy to have to say this, but there have been studies out there that when you combine doubling premiums for the ACA and then throwing 15 million people off of Medicaid and the ACA, the result is, according to studies at Yale and the University of Pennsylvania, 50,000 low-income, working-class Americans will die every single year. All right? If you don't have the money to go to a doctor and you're sick, you die. And that's what we're looking at. That's what this clean bill is about.
Mm-hmm. And so Republicans want us to rubber stamp that. And we're saying no. We need to stand up for the American people.
That's it. It's good, clean, wholesome messaging. Republicans can literally be like, Democrats want undocumented migration to flow into the country so that every single immigrant can come to your house, break down your door, and rape your fucking daughter to death. And then they'll turn around and be like, what do you mean? I'm just talking about policy. Meanwhile, Democrats don't fucking turn around and say, Republicans basically want to kill you if you're poor. That's what it is. That is a more honest assessment of Republican policy, especially as it pertains to cutting funding for Medicaid, that's what it is. They want poor people to fucking die. Republicans want poor people to not be able to pay for healthcare and fucking die. And here we are having a conversation about whose rhetoric is violent. It is ridiculous. Republicans do not want you to realize, if you are a Republican, they do not want you to realize that they cut your health care by $800 billion so they could give tax cuts to the super wealthy in this country. Understand this. They cut your health care, your Medicaid, by $800 billion so they could at least like put a dent in the whopping tax cuts that they pushed for the super wealthy in this country. Okay? This is going to destroy rural hospitals. It's going to destroy your grandparents' chances of continuing long-term care in nursing homes, because long-term care is not covered by Medicare. It's covered by Medicaid. I cannot understand how people are not more overt with this. They should have been from the start. And that's precisely what the Democrats are trying to stop here to the best of their fucking ability, or at least make a bigger deal out of this. My fear now is that they're just going to only do this because they want to highlight this before the midterm, because they know that the cuts aren't coming until after the midterms, because Republicans are demons like that. That's the other side of the story, by the way. Republicans are not even openly cutting before the midterm so that they don't even suffer politically from this. Why didn't they stop the big, beautiful bill? There was no way to stop it. They couldn't stop it. They should have already had this exact same fight a couple months prior when there was another budget consideration. Now the Republicans are using the previous concessions that Chuck Schumer offered to continue funding the government against them. Now they're saying, oh, what now, Chuck? You didn't speak like this a couple months ago, Chuck. What's up? Is it because you're scared of AOC? Like, that's what they're saying. But he should have done it back then.
We need to stand up for our healthcare system. And if they want our votes, they need to make sure that we're protecting every American and making sure that we can do what we can to continue to make healthcare accessible, affordable, as we work to make it a human right for all.
Right, so let me just back that up. Remember, right now, our healthcare system is broken. Right now, we're the only major country on earth not to guarantee healthcare to all people. And these guys want to make it even worse. We're not going to let that happen.
No, we're not.
Thank you.
Onward.
Yeah, there's a $50 billion bailout. Scoop. Hill, Republican estimates Trump will need to send as much as $50 billion to the farmers hit by tariffs. Trump admin plans to roll out billions from USDA, but Treasury officials and others are eyeing ways to tap tariff revenue without a fight in Congress. It's just crazy because, like, who is this for? Who is this for? Like, why are we doing any of this shit? Like, at the end of the day, is it worth it that we have data centers all around the fucking country so we can make like the dumbest AI videos of all time? Is that what this is for? Because like, what kind of industry are we pumping in this country? What kind of industrial base have we developed leading up to Donald Trump and certainly after Donald Trump? Like, what will we have? What kind of trade are we protecting? Do we have good paying jobs now? Is that what happened? Because we don't. It's all bullshit. Everything sucks. We make nothing. Not to get all Stephen Miller here, but we make nothing. We build nothing. We are nothing. It's just slop and a bunch of fucking con men. I saw Ryan Grimm and Sauger talking about AI data centers jacking up prices today. Virginia being a prime example of a state that Amazon has captured. Yeah, electricity prices are surging. We have burgers and guns, bro. That's true. We have burgers and we have gun. And we have gun burger. And also now we have AI gun. We used to have gun burger and now it's AI gun. It's fucking awesome. Wait till we make AI burger and then it's just and then it's over. It's complete. The American project is complete. This is mental torture for Americans, cheap medical.
My name is Emily. I'm a Canadian living in China. Today I will show you how efficient and affordable it is to see a doctor in China as a foreigner. Prices for X-rays, ECG, and blood tests included.
Okay, first of all, China doesn't even have the best healthcare, okay? Healthcare is one of the biggest weaknesses for the Chinese century of prosperity. Okay, so remember that when you're watching this.
Appointment on my phone last night using just my passport and was able to schedule an appointment at 9:30 a.m. this morning. I arrived on time and waited for only 10 minutes until my name was called. I told the cardiologist that I'm here for a regular heart checkup. And
okay, so that was what, like $10,000, $20,000? I hope, I assume. Right? Everything that she just described is basically like this is a walk-in. That's gonna be like what? Okay, I'm exaggerating. It's not gonna be 20 grand, but at least 10 grand. Like at least.
She sent me to an ECG, blood test, and X-ray. Here are the prices I paid as a foreigner without any medical insurance. Still very affordable. Then I got my ECG done. No need to wait at all, and I got the results on the spot.
Wait, what was the price?
5 minutes to get my blood. Still very affordable.
What was the price? $75,000, right? Like that's what you. X-ray $19. X-ray $19. It's not 1,900. Did she cook the decimals? What's going on? Be honest. tofu X-ray. Yeah. No, you don't understand. There's a tofu dreg. Tofu dreg X-ray. I don't understand. We got to cook the Chinese GDP, folks. There needs to be an incredibly expensive middleman that is not actually invested in lowering the cost whatsoever, because it actually benefits them in the long run to keep costs high. We need someone like that. We need an expensive middleman to extract as much value from the consumers. Where is the middleman? Where is the... I don't understand it. Actually, I don't know the Chinese healthcare, private healthcare system at all. I'm sure they might even have that. China spends 95% less than the U.S. on healthcare per capita, but has a life expectancy that's 4 years longer. Stop. China is much more efficient at converting production into human welfare than the U.S. China is currently increasing its investments in public healthcare provisioning, which is correct to do, and I predict the social dividends will be impressive. Ultrasound in Mexico this summer was $70. CAT scan in the U.S. last August with insurance was $2K plus. Adjust for PPP, they pay like 80% less, not 95. Oh, my bad. I was thinking about that in the shower today, because like a big argument right now is like undocumented can't get healthcare. And it's like they talk about that like that's a good thing. And I was thinking, like, I'm in France right now. If I got into an accident, God forbid, I could go to the fucking hospital and have all my healthcare covered. America could absolutely do that for all tourists and all people living on U.S. soil on top of every single American. And it should. It's crazy.
My name is Vanessa. I'm from Westminster. I dragged my husband up here against his will, but I have to talk about being blind in this terrible Gabe Evans and Donald Trump regime. I feel like the day that he blamed handicapped people for the crash with the helicopter and the plane, and he called out people, including people with no vision, dwarfism, deaf people, etc. I cried. I felt less than a human being in this country for the first time. I went to college, and I have worked my whole life in this country, and I feel like we have to help blind people with being able to use websites and being able to get adaptive equipment that helps us use Braille and speech with DEI eliminated. That is what's being taken out of schools. That's what's being taken out of businesses. Businesses can discriminate, and they do not have to provide accommodations. And if we want people not to sit around and be worthless, and we want us to use our mind, please, Gabe Evans, stop this DEI crackdown.
Yeah, A is a part of the DEI, accessibility. Obviously, they're not there yet. There's an A in DEI. DEI also has an A, accessibility. They're obviously clamping on that part too, but we haven't evil maxed to a point where like you can openly say that, like fuck the disabled. Like you can kind of say it as, Gabe Evans has, but like when they say fuck DEI, like that's low key what they're saying as well. But the reason why they can't just like openly say it yet, and I say yet because like I think even the most conservative person still feels a little rude when they hear someone straight up be like, oh, you got fucking Down syndrome, fuck you, or oh, you got a disability, fuck you. We're not there yet, but we might be. Maybe next year, maybe next year. The more these guys evil max, the more we have an endless opportunity for new kinds of evil. It's the paradox of Republicans trying to seem civil while acting uncivil. Yeah, but as long as it's done within the confines of the systems, then that kind of incivility or that kind of violence, that kind of incivility and that kind of violence is not seen. What the fuck is this, bro? What the fuck? Elon's children are minors, bro. Oh my God, this dude is fantasizing. Oh God, so gross. So fucking gross, dude. You are disgusting. God damn. I guess that's the next wave of evil maxing is just like being openly pedophilic.
I hear you on that, and I did ask Senator Warren about some of those subjects in the last hour. I want to get you on the record on this AI sombrero video thing with Leader Jeffries. Everyone's talking about it. He says that the video and the images are racist and bigoted. You've got to work with this individual. Do you see his point of view here? Can you see how he might feel that way?
Hakeem is my friend. We have a great relationship of trust. He's a great colleague. I think he has to lighten up. When you show that you're upset, I get attacked in memes every single hour of every day. I don't react to it. That's what people are trying to get out of you as a reaction. The president was making a joke, okay? And so much has been made out of this. They're acting as if the issue of the day is a battle over memes on social media. The issue is to get services returned to American people. Young mothers...
Okay, but like... Your president is the one doing that, okay? Your president is the one doing that, actually. So shouldn't you be more mad at him for doing that if the situation is much more dire, much more serious? Like, what do you mean? Oh, I can't believe these guys are talking about the memes. Like, my president is just a memer. He's a memester. It's like, okay, he's the one doing the memes while 750,000 jobs are potentially threatened threatened to be furloughed. He's the one who also doubled down and said, we're going to fire them at will for funsies because I'm a petulant fucking child. So he's not the one taking this shit seriously at all. The fuck do you mean? And look, for all of my criticisms of like Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer and them, they haven't even made that big of a deal. They should have never actually sat in the room when they saw those fucking dumbass hats, or at least picked up the hat and fucking chucked it at Donald Trump's face or something. But like, it's ridiculous that they sat in that room with those fucking hats in display so that Donald Trump could make a mockery out of them and belittle them even further. But they haven't made that big of a deal of Donald Trump doing these sorts of little fucking childish shit, things so far. I can't begin to describe the raw contempt and rage this fucking snake oil preacher salesman fills me with. This kind of soft-spoken, polite, prim, and proper asshole is so common down here. You can never catch him in a weak public moment. But they're at clammy meetings on the weekends. I fucking hate Mike Johnson and Scott Jennings more than anyone else in American politics. Yeah. I mean, yeah, they are like that. They're very buttoned up, but they're ginormous pieces of shit. And they're huge fucking liars. And on top of that, they know that Donald Trump is like bad optics. That's the other thing. Like, these guys would love to have a Jeb Bush in charge. They just love all of the cuts that Donald Trump represents. They love all of the deregulation that Donald Trump is able to push for. They don't like the fucking optics. And plenty of Republicans who are now never Trump Republicans were so pissed off and so frustrated with Donald Trump and the way he carried himself and the way that he like spat on this massively important position in around the world, really, not even just like in America. You're the leader of the free world, right? Like, this is how you behave. This is how you fucking carry yourself. all that shit is obviously I mean, they hate that too. They hate it too. They just can't say anything about it. The war wouldn't have happened if Hamas commit mass murder. Hamas or ISIS. Can you not see that? And Ben Shapiro wouldn't waste his time on you knowing you're brainwashed to think Palestine are the divine. Well, I mentioned Ben Shapiro on purpose because he is going to waste his time on me. XO Sophie XO. You can go back hundreds of years, and they always started their own wars with 5 Jewish countries. You know what's really funny about this, by the way? You know what's really funny about this? This is a damn near verbatim, identical argument against, like, Muslims that Nazis used against the fucking Jews, dude. That's what's so crazy to me. Like, Jewish Nazis straight up took what anti-Jewish Nazis were saying about Jews and made it their own thing. This is literally verbatim the 109 countries narrative, bar for bar. When you hear Nazis go, oh, it's got to be a reason why Jews were kicked out of 109 countries. That's what these fucking stupid Zionist Nazi morons are doing. They don't even realize it. There's not even a fucking shred of irony in this situation. Okay? Not even a little bit of an irony. Like, you don't even understand it. You don't understand that you are literally a fucking neo-Nazi, okay? You are a Jewish neo-Nazi. How is this so difficult to fucking comprehend? This is unironically the exact same thing that neo-Nazis say about Jews. There's a reason why they got kicked out of 109 countries, right? That's what they say. That's what neo-Nazis say about Jews. You're saying that about Muslims. All of the, oh, there's a reason why nobody wants the Palestinians. God damn. I feel like half of the people that were sitting in like Holocaust studies were taking notes to be like, this is the most scary shit I've ever heard. We got to make sure this never happens again. And then the other half was sitting there being like, well, that's pretty good. I think we can use this one. Wow, they really cooked on this one. Okay, maybe not the oven thing, but we could just use conventional munitions. Like what the fuck is this? It literally feels like you were taking notes when during Holocaust studies. They'd be like, this is what we should do to the Palestinians. This is what we should say about the Muslims as a whole and the Palestinians as a whole. What the fuck happened? Jesus Christ. They dusted off old recipes, man. What the fuck? Opposed the Israeli state. Was it born out of ancient anti-Semitism? Check her reply bar for bar. What'd she say? What'd that dumbass say? It's facts, nothing Nazi about it. Yes, Nazis say that about Jews, dumbass. And when they're called out for it, they turn around and say the exact same thing. You're so stupid. God damn. That's just fascism. That's just fascism. There's no better description that this is a fascist ideology than this exact conversation that just took place.